Welcome to this Crochet Highland cow tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to crochet this cow plushie. Let's get straight into the tutorial. So the materials that you will need are a 5mm crochet hook or whatever you think works best for your yarn, a yarn needle, scissors. You will need safety eyes. I like to use 12mm. You'll need two colors of yarn, a darker color and a lighter color. The lighter color you'll be using for the snout and the bottom of the arms and legs. I get all of my yarn from Yarn-A-Lot, and I like to use Yarn Art Dolce. So if you want to use the same yarn as me, you can go check it out in the link in the description. Finally, you will need some stuffing. So you're going to start off with your lighter color yarn. So this is color B, and we're going to begin by doing the legs. So we're going to start off by making a magic ring. And I like to use the 2-chain method to make my magic ring, but you can use whichever method you like. So to do my 2-chain method, I've just done a slip knot, and then I'm going to chain twice. So 1, pull through, and 2, pull through. Then for round 1, we are going to be doing 6 single crochets into our first chain, or 6 single crochets into our magic ring. So I'll go ahead and I'll put my hook into my first chain and do 1 single crochet. Just like that. And now you'll need to do 5 more. Now for the following round, we'll be doing 6 increases. So an increase is doing 2 single crochets into each of the stitches. So this will take us up to 12 stitches in total. So go ahead and do an increase into each of the stitches. Now for the following round, we will just single crochet all the way round. So we're just going to single crochet into each of the 12 stitches. And at the end of this round, we'll color change to our darker color. Now that we're onto the last stitch, we are just going to start our single crochet by pulling through that yarn. And now that you have 2 loops on your hook, you're going to want to grab your darker color of yarn, so your color A. And we are actually going to finish off our final single crochet by pulling through our darker brown. And then we will tie these 2 colors together and cut off the remaining of color B. Now we are just going to do 1 round of single crocheting with our darker color. So go ahead and single crochet for 1 round. So once you've finished that round, we can now leave a very small tail, just like this, cut it off here. And then we'll pull through to finish off. So that is your first leg complete. And now we are going to go ahead and make our second leg. So once again, we'll grab our lighter color, color B, and we're going to make our magic ring or our 2-chain method. And for round 1, once again, we'll start by doing 6 single crochets into our first chain. Now for round 2, we're going to do 6 increases, which will take us up to 12 stitches. Now for round 3, we'll single crochet all the way around, and at the end of this round, we'll color change to color A. So we're just grabbing our darker color and pulling it through. And then we'll tie the two colors together and cut off the remaining color B. And now we will just do one round of single crocheting with our color A. Once you've gone into that last stitch here, we're not going to finish off as we're going to be connecting our two legs. So we're going to put a stitch marker into our last stitch of the leg that we're currently on, our second leg. And I just like to use scrap yarn as my stitch marker. So I'm going to work around with you for this next round. So we're going to start by chaining 2 from the second leg. So 1 and 2. Now we're going to grab our first leg that we made. And you see how we have the last stitch of the last round here, because it's higher above. So this is our last stitch of the last round, and then we have our first stitch of the last round down here, the one that's lower. We're going to go into our first stitch of the last round from the outside. So we'll just put our hook into that stitch. And we're going to single crochet into that stitch. Just like that. Now we're going to single crochet all the way around our first leg. So you'll need to single crochet 11 more times around the first leg. And now we're going to actually single crochet into the 2 chains that we just did before. So we're going to go ahead and we need to find a hole here. So we're going to stick our hook into the second chain that we made through the bottom and single crochet. And now we'll put our hook into the first chain that we made, just like that, and also single crochet. And now we're going to go into and around the second leg. So we've just gone into and around the first leg and then into the 2 chains. And now we'll go into not the stitch where our stitch marker is, but this stitch here, just this one right here. We'll put our hook in there and single crochet. And now we're going to single crochet back around to the stitch marker. And any holes that open up between the legs, you can just sew those up later. And that's your first round of the body done. So just going to move the stitch marker up 1. And now for the following round, we're just going to single crochet all the way around. So we'll start off by single crocheting into the other side of those 2 chains. So 1 and then 2. And then you can just single crochet all the way around as usual into the stitches. And now for the following round, we're going to do 6 increases times by 4, which will take us up to 32 stitches. So 6 single crochets and then an increase, and then do that 4 times. Now for rounds 8 to 10, we're going to be single crocheting all the way round. So for 3 rounds straight, we'll just be single crocheting all the way round. Once you've done those 3 rounds of single crochet, we can move on to round number 11. So for round 11, we'll be doing 2 single crochets and then a decrease times by 8, which will take us down to 24 stitches in total. Now for round 12, we'll just single crochet all the way round. For round 13, we'll do 2 single crochets and a decrease times by 6, and this will take us down to 18 stitches. And now for the final round, we'll do single crochet decrease times by 6, which will take us down to 12 stitches. And now we're just going to put our stitch marker out, and we are going to leave a small tail just about here and pull through to finish off. And now we can add the stuffing. So make sure to add it to the feet first, and then you can add it to the rest of the body. And this is what the body looks like once you've finished adding stuffing. And now you can put the body aside and we can move on to the arms. So once again, we're going to start with our color B, and we're going to begin by doing 8 single crochets into our magic ring. Now for round 2, we'll do 3 single crochets and an increase times by 2, and this will take us up to 10 stitches. And at the end of this round, we'll color change to our darker color. So we're just onto the last bit of the increase, so we're going to grab our darker color and we're going to finish off that increase with color A, and then tie these 2 together, and then we can cut off the remainders of color B. Now with color A, we are going to single crochet for the next 4 rounds straight. So go ahead and single crochet for 4 rounds. Then for the last round, we'll do 3 single crochets and a decrease times by 2, which will take us down to 8 stitches. Then we need to leave a tail for sewing, just like that. And then we can pull through to finish off. And that is your first arm completed. So now you need to go ahead and create a second arm identical to this one. So go ahead and create your second arm. So now that you've made both of your arms, we are going to add stuffing to these arms. So just grab a little bit of stuffing and just add a bit to each arm. And those are your arms completed. So now we can put those aside and move on to the head. So for the head, you're just going to grab your color A. And to begin your head, you're going to start by doing 6 single crochets into the magic ring. Now for the following round, we are going to do 6 increases, which will take us up to 12 stitches in total. Now for round 3, we'll do single crochet, then increase, times by 6, and this will take us up to 18 stitches. Then for round 4, we'll do 2 single crochets and an increase times by 6, and this will take us up to 24 stitches. For the following round, we'll do 3 single crochets and an increase times by 6, which will take us up to 30 stitches in total. Then for our final round of increases in the head, we'll do 4 single crochets and an increase times by 6, which will take us up to 36 stitches in total. Now that we're done with our increases, we are now going to single crochet for 3 rounds straight. So go ahead and single crochet from round 7 to 9. Okay, now that you've done 3 rounds of single crocheting, we're going to move on to our decreases. So for round 10, we're going to do 4 single crochets and a decrease times by 6, and this will take us down to 30 stitches. So then for round 11, we'll do 3 single crochets and a decrease times by 6, which will take us down to 24 stitches. Now for round 12, we'll be doing 2 single crochets and a decrease times by 6, which will take us down to 18 stitches. Right now we're just going to put the safety eyes in. So just grab your safety eyes. So I'm going to put mine in between rounds 9 and 10. So this is round 12 at the bottom, and then 11, 10, and then in between rounds 9 and 10. And we're going to put them about 8 stitches apart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that will leave enough space for the snout. So now we're just going to clip those in just like that. And then we can continue on to our last round. So for our very last round, we'll be doing single crochet decrease times by 6, and this will take us down to 12 stitches. And And now we are going to leave quite a long tail for sewing. So about 2 rulers lengths. Cut it off about there. And then we can pull through with our hook to finish off. And now we need to add some stuffing to our head. And this is the cow head completed. And it looks a bit funny right now, but this is kind of what it will look like when the body is attached to it.